Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the like and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Share it with your friends and family. Thank you to my subscribers and followers. If you come across the channel, please don't leave without subscribing and hitting the likes. Helps the channel grow. And as we've built an integral channel here with a good community, it goes a long ways if you do so. So if you come across the channel, subscribe and hit the likes before leaving. That would be muchly appreciated, very much so, as we pride ourselves in being a Habs channel that avoids rumor land, and we stick to factual information as it falls. And we don't use clickbait here. We don't just try to rope people in. All right, we're going to get into last night's game in Quebec City, Montreal playing Ottawa. Ottawa was being the home team there. 5-0 victory for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know why Sportsnet doesn't have the game stats. I've been trying it all day. Um, no box scores or nothing. There's something not right with their site. They'll have to fix it. So we've done the best we could and went to TSN, and they had a little bit of a write up anyway. We got Patrick Laney and Alex Carrier scoring quick strike goals in the second period. Lane Hudson had a goal and an assist in the third, and Jakub Dobich stopped all 12 shots he faced as the Habs blanked the Senators. The fans in Quebec City were treated to a fight-filled affair with the brothers Arbor and Florian Jacki both dropping the gloves. All right, let's talk about that some more. What a game, eh? We're going to get into the fine details of this game. What a cheap shot by Hodgkins to hit Carrier. It's one thing I get that he's defending his teammate. No problem with that. But just because of the heavy hit that Carrier had on his teammate, it's great to come in. All he had to do was hit him hard because he's a giant. So that we get their goon, their fighter, comes in and just starts wailing on Carrier. This was a mismatch he had, and Carrier didn't even know it had hit him. So this was such a goon move. Most players who are fighters wouldn't even have done that. They would have grabbed somebody who could fit the bill. So that was a disgrace, cheap shot. Cousins took a cheap shot on Jake Evans in the game as well. But anyway, Montreal's quick response after that cheap shot on Carrier, the Jack guys took things into their own hands and with Struble, sending a loud and clear message: you're not going to treat our pounder, get away with doing dirty things to our players. And they defended their teammate Carrier, and Arbor grabbing McQueen or whatever, McEwen, I think it is, and just made a rag doll out of him. He just pounded the piss out of him. It looked good. That's one of their scrappers, and like it was just very funny once the referees separated them. McEwen going on like he wanted to continue taking the fight on when he got his tush handed to him. He was just like a rag doll tossed around the ice. Just humorous. Looked good. And then we had Florian get into it as well, and he put the boots to the player he put the boots to. Also, he had a moment with Janix in an earlier fight, who was a young player trying to prove his name. Florian did quite well in both of those fights that he took on. Good to see him back up his brother Arbor in that sort of little scrum, after the dirty play. And Struble even got into it. The only thing I didn't like there was Struble giving the cross check the referee didn't see to the face of Janik. And then he just pounded the piss out of Janik and looked good on him with Janik coming up with a bloody face. What a right hook Struble nailed him with. That's how Struble has to play if he wants to be effective and wants to be that seventh defenseman, because Adam Enstrom, uh, with tonight's game and the last game, is playing very well. Finally, substantial improvement in his game, because before those two games, he wasn't looking like he was looking even when he played in Laval. But so that's something, Jack Arbor and Struble have to keep an eye on, because Enstrom is definitely going to be pushing for a spot in the future. There's no doubt about it. This kid's showing some signs now that he's woken up a little bit. But great defensive core play. Hudson had a phenomenal game. What more can you say about Lane? He's always just like the best player out there. He's just phenomenal. But the teams, they had a good look to them. I liked seeing what was out there, substantially with Doc Newhook and Lane and Demonov, Kapanen, and Bolduc, and I think Bolduc has to be the winger on the second line when that comes into play. Whenever they figure that out, I think that made a big difference. Him going in to win the puck battles proved very well to be, and there's definitely some chemistry there between Kapanen and Demidov for sure. Demidov looked good, had some very nice plays, but still expecting a little more out of him, but that will come. But still had a strong game. Demidov and Hudson. Matheson had a good game. Everybody played quite well, and Dobish was just solid. Even though there was 12 shots, there was a couple ones that were close calls with scrums in front of the net, and we had that one that just kind of went across the crease that Galley cleared out. However, if you look at the replay, you look at the angle properly, it would have just missed because it was going in a side direction. So it would have never got in, but Galley did the right thing to get it out of the danger zone. So the Habs killed the penalties fairly well. 5-0 shutout. That's the special teams came into effect. We had a couple, some power play goals looked good there. Just the one timer by Carrier looked wonderful. Lane, we know he's perfect on the power play. His 5-on-5 play is just I don't know what the answer is to that other than he can't be a part of that second line. He just holds it back. He's too much of a liability. Um, like I said, I don't know whether that's the injuries that accumulated over the last few years of his career, and he's still got to work through that. I don't know. Kirby Doc had a much improved game. He actually won some draws, nice to see, and he had a solid game and scored a goal. That was great to see. The Habs played very well. Lane Hudson, like I said, what more can I say about Lane? And the Jack guys. The only thing I'd say with Florian, he's got to move his feet a bit more. Before the fights were, and then the physical play was great when he finally got physical. But there were times before that happened, he was standing around just a little too much, and that he's gonna that's gonna take time. But that's why to me, Kapanen and Jack, I have the lead because we need what Florian brings to the forward group. That toughness to replace. We need, like Pizzetta. You need a guy that can counter and take the pressure off Arbor. So because Arbor's very counted on defensemen with the way the Habs want things. You don't want a defenseman going down in penalties to make your defense short. And Arbor's been playing much more responsible. He had to kick in when he did last night after the abuse of Carrier and did the right thing. And so did Florian and Struble follow suit. And that's the way these guys got to play, the three of them. And like I say, like with Arbor, you don't see him picking, like just jumping in to look for a fight continually. That was the time he had to move, and a good response from the Montreal bench with the three tougher guys sending a clear message: you won't abuse our players that way. So great game on Montreal's behalf. Good. Now you know darn well after a shellacking like that, 5-0, Ottawa's going to put their first line in, and you know Brady Kachuk's going to come to send a message. However, I do think at the same token, we still got a message to send to Hodgkins, who was already out of went to the penalty box and dressing room, so that the Jack guys or Struble couldn't even get at him as retaliation. That may also be one to look for in the next game, that they make him accountable himself. There may be a message sent. Don't be surprised. I think that's going to be a ferocious game Saturday night, that build up, because Ottawa's going to want to put on a much better performance. And, with the Brady line and Stutzel, there's going to be Brady Kachuk himself. Don't be surprised if he doesn't go after Arbor. I wouldn't be shocked because he's done that in the past. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but I would fully expect this very spirited game to be the last game, the follow up to this on Saturday night. Going to be exciting. These teams, you can tell there's a major dislike with these two teams, really building up to be quite a rivalry in the now and the future. So thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Ice Productions. Please hit subscribe, hit the likes, and follow, and we will catch you in the review of the final preseason game against the Sens, which should be a darn good one. Okay, good for now. Go Habs, go.